So, dear Dharma friends, more than any other time, this word meditation is very familiar nowadays. And everybody trying to practice and trying to do some kind of meditation. And even most of time nowadays, doctors, more than the medication, and they encourage people to practice meditation. And so it is your responsibility to become very clear with this and to know what you have to do. Why? Because whatever you put into your mind as information and as practice, and it's going to become your life. So whatever you put into your life as information or as practice, going to become your life. So when it comes to practice, so whatever you practice inside your mind is going to overtake entire your life. Even it going to go with your samsaric journey. There are certain physical habits on the way we drop. As children, sometimes the way we perform not going to be the same when we become teenagers. And then we change by time, by age, when we become young and adult. So when we get old, certain things we drop. But there are certain things when we practice with the mind, it's going to be with us in this journey. So when it comes to meditation, in the ancient time, in Eastern countries, mainly they used to practice meditation. And they had the intention to control the mind. The most of the meditation practice, so whatever in the ancient time, you see, they have method to control the mind. Rather than understanding the very nature of the mind, when they control the mind, they able to maintain and get certain result out of it. So they had this nature little by little, and then what happened? As a result of that practice, all the machines came to our life. Why the people invent the machine? So very, very beginning, you see the philosophy of the machines. The person always control it. There is no machines developed without controlling. So from where this idea came? How the people thought in the beginning to invent something to keep the control. So it came out of their inner practice. They keep the authority within themselves. And how it start? So it start deeper in our mind. We had the attitude, remember, listen this very carefully. Take this very clearly. You don't need to listen to me. Listening doesn't work. So you have to think yourself. And you have to understand it within yourself. So that is where we both going to become in the same line. So otherwise, I have no intention to be in a higher place and you are in a lower place. I'm preaching to you, you listening to me. This practice you cannot get like that. So while you listening to me, at the same time you have to think yourself to understand what I'm trying to tell. So then you will get it. So from where this idea came, this control, this came, the human mind start to control their own behavior with their own thought. So that is the epicenter of this, all the machines and technology. And today you will see huge that the machine people build, and they build the aeroplane can fly faster than birds, and the submarines can go faster than the fish, and the satellites everywhere. So how this, but everything controlled by people. So then the people become happy. So then sometimes people say this robots, and then some people say, oh, don't worry. Why? Because somebody need to control. So when you think that you can control, you become so happy. And remote control. So when you have the remote control with your hand, you become so happy, you become so comfortable. So this is an attitude that we already develop in these human civilizations. So you have to remember, your mind change. You are not alone itself. A person can be separate from the world. If you are just a separate new person to this world, you should behave like a thousand years, a million years before whoever our ancestors, Homo sapiens, came to this world, the way they behaved. But you are not like that. When your children come to this world, they're not going to behave like the first person same like the first person in this earth. So you are means the history of the world. Remember that. What you think, your mind is already came out of the entire historical information. So you are the latest version of the human civilization, if I put in another way. So then your mind behave according to that, remember. So then from these civilizations, generations to generations, we build the idea, controlling. And in the meditation also the same. And today most of the people are trying to control their mind. And they believing when they can maintain something, it's going to become something. Maintaining something is not the life. You can maintain the animals also, but that doesn't mean you completely understand that animal, or the animal surrender 100% surrender to your authority. So you controlling your mind doesn't mean it 100% surrender to your wish or your will. So you get into certain patterns, certain behavior. That doesn't mean you complete. So then today you have to be very careful. So what you're doing, just practicing meditation. And what is the Buddha's teaching became different than that any other meditation techniques used to be during that time, even still in the world. And sometimes people don't get this very clearly. So this is what happening when you control. You can start to control one thought. And then that the idea you have, you and the thought separate. So then why you control the thought? Because you have an idea itself inside you. Be very clear, you have an idea inside you, the thought happening itself, not the way you want. So that's why you're trying to control it. Otherwise you're not going to control it. There is no idea to control. So then your own thoughts, you go against and you trying to control. In that very moment, you disappointed. That's why you're going to control. So with the disappointed mind, when you try to control your own mind, because you're already disappointed, so then what is happening? Then again the disappointed mind brings the disappointed thoughts. And not only that, once it becomes your attitude, when a thought comes to you, right away, top of that thought, you build up the idea to control. So you never can see who controlling it, who try to control your own thought. You don't see. Why? Because you're disappointed. And then again and again, and when you keep practicing, when you doing it mentally itself with your own thoughts, it become your life. So then what is happening? Now mentally you practice it, naturally it start to come to your body. So then you practice control the body. The controlling the body, you never observe. This is the point. You control the body, you never observe the controller. Because why? You disappointed. Not only that, look, this is what happened then. Once you start to control your body, you have an attitude. So whatever happened, controlling. And that is where you start to control your pen, pencil, your TV, your computer, and whatever you build out of your hands, you keep the attitude to control. That is how in these human civilizations, all the machines, technology and everything came. And that is why everybody becomes so happy thinking, oh, if we can control, it's okay, it's good. It doesn't matter the robot, oh, if we can control, no harm. If it doesn't matter the car, if we can control, it's okay. But spiritually, that is the biggest failure. If you build up something, keep controlling yourself, because when you are not there, that whatever you develop, it's not going to be there anymore. But materially, you can have any idea about it. So, but the thing is this, then now you have attitude, you control your mind, you control your body, and you control whatever the things that you create out of your body. And then you become so happy. This is where you're going to get stuck. When another person meet you, so remember, now you have attitude and you master your mind. You have ability to control 50%, because that's the way you practice according to your practice. And so whatever you accumulate as an attitude, and if someone else practice better than you, that person going to become stronger than you. So if I keep hitting 100 times with this hand, that this hand becomes strong. And if anybody start to use this to 500 times, and his hand going to become better than my hand. So like that, another person suddenly you meet as your husband, wife, and maybe as children or as parents or as friends. So someday you meet somebody and now you master your this controlling method to 50%. Just imagine. And then you meet another person, that person master it to 75%. So in front, when you meet these two people, now his attitude, her attitude becomes stronger than you to control. So you also have the attitude to control, and that person also have the attitude control. So when these two meet, the fight start, the struggle start, because you don't understand surrender. You don't develop a method to understand to harmony, because you develop the method to control. So when the day come for you to meet another person and can control better than you, you become prisoner to that person. And it can become as a husband wife. Then how about you going to marry a person and that person control everything, and that whoever come to, it's like that there are some carpenters, when they get the hammer and they see everything as nails, they just hit. The same like there are some people, when they develop the method, so it is not just that person, remember, it is the entire civilization, this human civilizations nourish this mind little by little, little by little. It is just the result we get on the way. If there is a person can control better than you, you become a prisoner to that person. You see this method everywhere today, all over the world, with these machines, technology, human culture, tradition, spirituality, anything you take. That is what we're doing, controlling. So if you cannot control something, you destroy it. You think it is bad. You think it is not good. You think it is going to be worst. You take it as an enemy. So that's where we are. So then, what the Buddha said, how the Buddha's teaching going to become different than any other teachings? What is the beginning of it? It is not during that time used to be that the naked Brahman or the Buddha used to wear a robe. No, that is not the different. And some rishis go and having the hair, long hair and beard, and the Buddha say everything. No, that is not the different. The very different in here, remember, when you control, as I mentioned, the beginning, it's like you watching the mirror yourself. So your own reflection come out of the mirror. So the meditation technique is like the mirror. So you use it to see your own reflection. So as example, sensation. So the sensation is a reflection of your own mind. So if you try to control the sensation, knowingly or unknowingly, what is happening? You develop this controlling attitude inside you. But that according to the Buddha's teaching, you develop the observation. So in a simple way, attention. So controlling, develop that the authority. But if you put the attention with the observation, you need fully, complete 100% involvement you have to involve with your mind without any disappointment or without any gap inside you to experience that moment. That is attention. When you develop the attention, when you increase your attention, it needs your fully capacity. And then what is happening? The attention will take you to attend. So we say attend to enlightenment. So you say that sometimes you attend to event. So that doesn't mean your head went there, your leg went there, your body went there. Your mind, body, everything is there. So when you put the attention, that is what happening. You attend. That is where you transform. But if you control, what is happening? When you control, you get disappointed deeper inside. With the disappoint again and again and again and again, you just build up your egocentric mind. So what the Buddha mentioned, with the Vipassana, learn to put the attention. Because you cannot put the attention halfway. When you develop the method again and again, when you put the attention, you develop the observation. So when the attention becomes 100% complete, there is a development come observation. You recognize it. That recognition itself uplift you from this moment to next moment. So yesterday, whoever you are, not going to be today. You become different. And the tomorrow you're going to become different person. You attending, you developing. You become successful with the completion. So yesterday you complete according to that moment, and then today you become complete according to this moment, and then you attain to next level, you become complete according to that moment. So that way, that completion will one day take you to attain to the fulfillment, mean enlightenment. So that is the process of attainment. So for that you have to develop the attention. But your attention become complete when your mind become free. But if you control the mind, and you lose this whole, you lose this whole teaching. You go wrong way. That's why that's why we experience here. So try yourself little bit. Don't try to be a kind of like a dictate. You have a dictative mind to control. No, don't think that Hitler just pop up to the world and became himself. I am the Hitler. I'm going to do this. No, all the leaders have the ideas today. Even all the children have the ideas today. And whoever in the mother's womb and going to become baby, come to as newcomers to this world today. Remember, they get nourished their mind from our entire civilizations. They become the next production of you. So if you control, they're going to become better than you to control. But then what is your responsibility? Remember, give the gift as the attention, observation. And then When you develop the attention to the next level, your next generation will develop the attention to next level, and one day there is a time come that everyone going to complete their journey, and they will develop the attention, this attention to attend to the enlightenment. And maybe in that journey again you are in the next circle, you're going to get the benefit as a newcomer when you come back. Why? Because the process already there. So try to understand. It takes time. You have to be slow. You have to think a little bit deeply. Don't be a bias. Don't afraid to drop the tradition, the culture, because that everybody control. The controlling, when we think we control, we become happy. But deeply, that is the samsara. That is samsara. You cannot control without pain. But you become so happy with the controller. When you have the remote control, you can push the button, but end of the month you get the bill. But how many buttons you can push that you become so happy with that, and you forget the bill you paying. So remember, like that, everything the same. But you can, this is the journey, this is the path you have to trust. Don't think just controlling, we can change a lot of things, but they are deeper. Allowing to observe, allowing to understand, allowing to put the attention and recognize is a more successful way. That is what the Buddha is teaching. But that is what missing today when people practice meditation. That is why still we cannot get into that. But somehow try yourself. There is a story. There was a temple. In that temple, this monk helped to study children. And then, so in the ancient time, children come to temple, they stay at temple and learn with the monk. So there was a child came, and then the father told to high priest, my son having a bad habit. He always stealing things and go and sell. He don't understand the value. So if you can please help me to make him a good person, because I don't want to see him as a thief. So the monk took it very easy, and he didn't tell anything. He didn't mention anything to the child. And now everyone at temple and practicing and reading. So in temple mostly have valuable books. So this child came one day to the library and saw very valuable book. What he did, he took it and stolen. Only one book that it was so valuable, he steal it. And then went to the market and looked a bookshop. And then he went to the bookshop and told, I want to sell this book. By seeing the book, the owner of the shop, he knew this is from temple. So this is a new student and asked, from where are you? So then he told the story, oh, I'm from that village. I came to temple to study. And so he asked, how much you want for this book? And then he told, okay, give me this much and $10. So like that. He gave the $10 and got the book. In the evening, he sent a message, even he didn't go to the temple, he sent a message to high priest. And please meet. The high priest came and then high priest saw the book. And then high priest told, don't tell anything. Then how much? Then $10. So then the high priest gave the $10, the bookkeeper, the seller, and he gave the book to the high priest because they are friends. He knew, but just seeing the book, it's from temple. And so the student didn't know anything. And then the next day, then high priest took the book and he put the little note on that book, volume 2, and he put the book there. And then the child start to go to the library, and so again the same kind of book, and he took, volume 2. Then I already sold the volume 1, so this is a good chance for me, go and sell it. And then he went and he sold the book. Then again the bookkeeper called the high priest, and high priest came and then gave the price for the book and took it back. And then went put the volume 3 and put it back, volume 4 and put it back. So somehow now everyone gathered, and there was one day exam for them. So during that time, oral exam, no paper writing also, everyone in. So then the high priest asked, saying that book, and asked, how many volumes have that book? So everyone said, it's just only one book. There's no any chapters. It's only one book. But this guy told, no, it has 4 volumes. And everyone shocked and told, everyone had the argument. No, it's only one book. There is no any other parts on that book, only one book. So this guy start to argue, no, there are 4 volumes. And then somehow in the evening, everyone gather and talk, and then one friend and ask, how you tell that 4 volumes? Because we used to study, it's only one volume. And then he told, no, I used to. So then they went to the library. And then they saw the book was the high priest note with the 1 volume, 2 volume, the volume 3, volume 4, that all the notes with the same book. And the book was there. And by seeing this, the student understood what happened. And he was so upset and afraid, because maybe that is the moment, that's the last moment he's going to be in the school, and he's going to get fired. But in the evening, everyone gathered, and the high priest told, telling that the student name, and tell, you pass the exam. So like that, dear friends, in life, and sometimes when we have the idea, control and authority, and out of that we use our power, and it can happen in a very minor little ways, but once it become our attitude, and we just know only that, we become blind with that. But there are many other ways, like the way the blind people go. They don't have idea what going to meet with them. But when they have that white stick, and when they move it, if something hit, they don't going to fight with it. What they does, they start to find a way where is the free space, and they go with it. You have seen how they walk in the very busy places. They have no idea, they don't remember that how to do, but what they keep doing like this, if something hit, they're not going to fight with it. Suddenly they move away, and they move. So where you go and walking or driving, and in front of you there is a building, you have to go to other side of the building. You never just go through the middle of the building, you go around it. So develop a mind yourself when it comes to situations. Always, the very first thing, try to come out of this control mind. There are many other lot of ways that you can develop your mind and you can develop your life and you can come out of the situations rather than controlling. But only thing from our human civilizations, from our ancestors' history, we just learned the idea of controlling. Even in the spiritual life also the same, we learn the controlling. We think when we cannot control, we take it as an enemy. No. Remember, learn to understand things. Put your attention. Rather than controlling your children, give your attention. Rather than controlling your husband, wife, give your attention. Rather than controlling your parents, give your attention. Rather than controlling the people in your country as leaders, give your attention. Rather than controlling your followers as monks or as the spiritual leaders, give your attention. That's the day you will help them to transform, to attend to the higher level. And one day that journey will end being attending to the enlightenment. So with that, I hope this will help for you. And by the power of this soul meritorious activities, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. By the power of this good practice during this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbitiyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammihi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha panuncatu. Bless you.